and welcome to Phosphorus Live, our bi-weekly look at the very interesting world of xIoT, the extended Internet of Things. I'm your host, Mike Huckabee. I'm the VP of Sales Engineering here at Phosphorus, and I'm joined, as always, by our device-obsessed, newly promoted Director of Sales Engineering, James McCarthy. James, say hello.
Hello.
What's happening at the xIoT news desk?
Yeah, a couple interesting things have come up over the last couple of months that I wanted to highlight here. So a few months ago, the FCC actually released a new cybersecurity IoT badge program, right, for all xIoT devices. Signals a really good push from the government to start focusing on the security posture of xIoT in the US. But new details have been coming out about the program that leaves me and probably the rest of us here at Phosphorus a little underwhelmed. The details of the badge are that it basically is a QR code that takes a visitor to a page that describes the kind of cybersecurity posture of the device, talks about patching and security and if it updates automatically, which sounds great, except that the program is going to be not a requirement and simply a recommendation from the FCC for organizations to participate in. So obviously the hope is that the manufacturers start leveraging that to increase awareness about the security posture for these devices, but without enforcement, adoption doesn't seem very likely.
Yeah.
Additionally, there was an issue recently with the company Wise. They make a bunch of kind of commercial, residential grade security cameras, amongst a bunch of other IoT devices. But they released a notice that for a short period of time, all of the camera feeds that were being fed to their platform by all of the cameras in the world made both the images and videos available for anyone to be able to see. So if you knew where this URL was in their AWS infrastructure, you could access pretty much any video feed for any Wise camera on the planet. So anyone with one of these cameras in their home or business was suddenly basically wide open to the world. This was actually due to basically a security or software oversight on the cloud side of the infrastructure, which for me highlights a really big problem with a lot of the modern IoT that's being deployed in organizations today, which is so much of it requires some form of connectivity to a cloud or some sort of integration to that vendor's, SaaS platform. And the problem with that is now all of a sudden you're shifting both the security and the data and everything about that device to a cloud environment that you have no visibility into. So that was the case here, right? Wise, I'm sure, made all the right efforts and did as best they could to secure everything. But at the end of the day, the video and audio from inside of one of your locations or a warehouse or something is pretty valuable data. And for that to go to a cloud and to be mismanaged like that is a pretty big issue. So definitely something to consider and look out for. And it really just highlights just how important not only knowing where every single device is on your network, but also knowing how they're configured, right? Who's actually configured to send data up to a cloud. So those are the updates for today.
Well, thanks, James. I know that so many of the Wise devices too are consumer like devices at homes. I know I have some. But with shadow IT and people bringing in those devices and plugging them into the corporate network, it also causes a lot of problems. So IT is not even planning on some of these devices to be in the network. And so having some way to be able to find them, make sure that you know what's on the network is really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we see at customers all the time when we get deployed is we see these devices like cameras or consumer grade hardware or even Raspberry Pis sitting on the network that IT had no idea was even there.
So true.